All right, so today I'm going to show you how to add movement to a model using the Tween service. And we did parts, and models are a little more complicated, so I'm going to show you how to do that. Let's go to the toolbox and let's get a model. I looked and I saw a cactus. I liked moving the cactus. There we go. And then we'll do a humanoid too. We'll do a non-playing character. So here's a cactus, and go to your plugins to get a non-playing character. Rig Builder, R15. I'm going to use a man rig. Boom, there he goes. And you don't have to take the humanoid root parts anchoring off. So this is anchored by default. That's fine. Tween doesn't mind. In fact, it's better for a tween. All right, now let's go ahead and work on the dummy first. So open up the dummy and we'll add a script. This is what we're going to have the tween service, where we're going to have our tween service. So I'm going to call this move it. Say move it. All right, now here, I want this to be a kind of a general script, so I'm not going to use NPC. This would normally be the NPC, but I'll call this like mod1 for my model script. And I don't want new, I want parent, right? Script.parent. There's our model. So we need a function, local function called move model. And I'm going to pass in my model, whatever it may be, an NPC or a cactus. And I'm also going to have a waypoint. Let's add a waypoint to the world. Let's go back to our flat terrain. We're going to move to that point right there. I'm going to call this waypoint. WP. I'm going to anchor it, and I'm going to turn can collide off. I'm just going to move it up a little bit. Where's my position? Here's position. I'm going to move it so that it's about the height of the humanoid, 5, so we don't float in the air or anything. You could float. That would be pretty cool. All right, so that's our waypoint. That's where we're going to move to. Let's go back to our script. And we're going to pass that part in there into that variable. So I need a tween service, game, get service, tween service. I need tween info to show my tween service how to move. And we'll just use this tween info new. We'll make it move over a 2-second period of time. And we have enum, easing style. That's the type of movement, and we're going to make it linear. And we'll do enum, easing direction. So if you have a non-linear movement, I'm going to put this in the next line. If you want the non-linear stuff to happen at the beginning or the end, you'll use this in, out, or in, out. In, out, it happens at the endpoints. In, it happens at the beginning. Linear doesn't matter because linear is the same throughout the whole thing. This is 0 right here will be the repeats. We're not going to repeat any. And then do we want to reverse? I'm going to say no. And do we want to delay? I'm going to say no. I'm just going to induce my delay. All right, so we have that. Let's go ahead. This is the tricky part now. We are going to get a C-frame value. I'm just going to call it CF for C-frame. I'm going to say, let's make it a variable. Local C-frame value, instance new, C-frame value. All right, so we're actually going to tween on the C-frame. We're going to assign the model's primary part C-frame to that CF. So we need to get our models, get primary part C-frame. So we'll say model, get primary part C-frame. I know this is really confusing, but it's not very long, so you can memorize it. You don't have to fully understand it right away. So now that we have the same value of the primary parts of C-frame, we have a starting value, right? And now what we're going to do is we're going to take that C-frame, we're going to get the get property change signal on the value. So every time it changes value, that is it moves, we're going to connect it to this internal function, this anonymous function, and set the model's primary part C-frame, primary part C-frame to our CF value. There we go. So we're moving the C-frame, and then we're just updating our model C-frame so that it gives it an appearance of moving. Well, it is moving, but we're not tweening on the model. We're tweening on the C-frame, and we're assigning the model to the C-frame, the C-frame of the model to the C-frame that we're moving. Oh, I know. That's all right. Just memorize it. It'll work, I promise. All right, so we're going to do a tween. Using the tween service, we're going to create it. We're going to use our C-frame value to tween on it, pass in a tween info, and then we're going to set the value of the C-frame value to whatever we're going to create here. This is going to be a C-frame on our waypoint's position. Notice we're not giving it any direction. So the direction might not be what you want. That is a harder video, all right, which I'll do, but not today. All right, tween play. And I'm just going to wait for the same period of time as my tween info. Now I'm going to wait 5 seconds so I can get into the world to see everything happen. And then I'm going to do my move model. And what do I call that? Mod 1. That's my model. And waypoint. Oh, workspace waypoint. We don't have a variable for waypoint. There it is. All right. So let me get this so you guys can see this and copy it. You can go ahead and pause the video. Let's go to our flat terrain and let's play it. Here we go. I'll play. There it is. All right, moved right to that brick. Let's go ahead and put the same script in the cactus. So Control D, and we'll put it to the cactus. And we'll do a play from here. Where's my play? Oh, home. Play from here. Let's see everything move. There we go. So we're moving models, more complicated things than parts, but it wasn't that bad, right? You only had to add this crazy stuff right here. And just remember, we got the tween on the C frame. And this is just updating your model to that C frame that we're doing movement on. All right, so I'll see you in the next video. I think I'll actually make it rotate and control the direction of my guy. And then maybe even add an animation so it makes it look like it's walking.